Hello, Glenn. So just going to go back over a couple of the quadratic equations we did today, just to give you a bit more revision on it. So I've written 5 up here, and I'm just going to go through them, and you can have a go yourself when you watch the video. Okay, so let's start off. Make sure I have my pen. Okay, so the first one is, number 1, is x squared minus 7x minus 18. Okay, and as we did today, the first thing we looked at was the minus 18, and we looked for factors of minus 18. Okay. Now, when we get the factors of minus 18, they have to add to minus 7. That's the trick. Okay. So minus 18 has many factors, but we'll look at the obvious ones. So let's say we have, and we do know, as I said before, once it's a minus at the end here, we know that the factors, one of them has got to be a minus and the other has to be a plus. So let's try 18 and minus 1. So 18 multiplied by minus 1. Well, that would certainly give us minus 18. But when we add them, 18 minus 1, that gives us 17. So that's no use to us really. So let's look at the other factors. Let's say 9 and 2. So 9 multiplied by, let's say, minus 2 in this case. Well, that would certainly give us minus 18. Let's see what happens when we add them. So 9 and minus 2 would give us 7. And that's actually, no, it's not. I thought that was what we're looking for. That's a positive 7, but we're actually looking for a negative 7, so that's no good. But as we did today, let's just reverse the signs there. We make this a minus 9 and multiply that by a positive 2. That will give us minus 18. And if we put in minus 9 plus 2, we get minus 7. So these are the numbers we're looking for. This actually fills in the criteria. Minus 9 multiplied by 2 will give us minus 18, and when we add them together, we get a minus 7. So now we know that these are the two numbers we put into the bracket to solve the equation. So you get your two brackets, you put the x in here and here. That's just the factors of this x squared here. We put in the minus 9 here, and we put in the plus 2 here. And sorry, that should be equal to 0. So forgetting to do that, Len. Okay, so now we just put the two factors into separate equations. So we put x minus 9 equals 0 and x plus 2 equals 0. I think when you get to this stage, then you know very well how to finish it. So that's going to mean x is equal to 9 and x is equal to minus 2. You know that we take the two across the one side of the equation to another, we change the sign. That should be equals there. Okay, so let's look at the second one. So number 2. So it's x squared minus 9x. It's a plus 20 this time, okay. And that's equal to 0. So we're looking for this time now at the factors of a positive 20, okay. Now, the trick is that the factors of the positive 20 when multiplied together give us the 20, and when added together give us minus 9. Okay, well, there's 20 is many factors, so let's try a couple of the obvious ones. We know that 2 multiplied by 10 will give us 20. But if we add 2 to 10, well, that gives us 12. So that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for minus 9. Okay, so let's say 4 and 5. 4 multiplied by 5. Well, that gives us a positive 20. But if we add those together, 4 plus 5 gives us a positive 9. Okay, so at least we're getting close to what we're looking for, but we need a negative 9. So that is not equal to us either. But let's see what happens if we change the signs on both of these. So minus 4, minus 5. Well, this is a minus multiplied by a minus. That's going to give us a positive 20, okay? But if we add them together, minus 4, minus 5 is going to give us a minus 9. And now we know that these are the two numbers we're going to put in the brackets. So two sets of brackets, x and this one, and x and this one. And in this case, it's a minus 5. In this case, it's a minus 4. And both of those together equal to 0. And then we put them each separately, each is equal to 0. So that's x minus 5 is equal to 0. And x 4 is equal to 0. And then we just solve for the x, and x is equal to a positive 5. Because when we take this minus across to the other side of the equation, it changes the sign. And the same here. And x is going to be equal to 4. And these are the two answers. Okay. I'll just move off the page, a bit more space here before going to the next one. Okay, so you can see there that because the 20 was positive, it could be two positive factors or it could be two negative factors would give us the positive 20. I know we didn't do one of those in the class, so that's sort of a bit new, but again. Okay, we'll go to number 3. Number 3 is x squared minus 5x minus 14 equal to 0. Okay, so again, we look at the number at the end. In this case, it's minus 14. And we're looking for factors of minus 14 that when multiplied together we get minus 14, but when added together we get minus 5. Well, 14 has a couple of factors. Let's try the obvious one. Well, we know we multiply 7 multiplied by minus 2. Well, that will give us minus 14. Fine. But if we add them together, 7 minus 2 gives us 5. But that's a positive 5, but we need a negative 5. This is minus 5 over here. Okay, so let's just do as we did before. We change the signs around. We make this a negative 7 multiplied by a positive 2. That also gives us minus 14. So then let's see what happens when we add them. Minus 7 plus 2 equals 5. And this is the one we want. This is the one we want. So these again are the two numbers going into the brackets in this case. So we have x minus 7 bracket x plus 2, both equal to 0. Okay. Then we just separate out into two equations. X minus 7 equals 0 and x plus 2 equals 0. And then you know this stage then you know how to finish it. So x is equal to a positive 7 and x is equal to a minus 2. Okay. Okay then, so I've just written in number 4 there just to save a bit of time on the video. So again, we look at this and we can see that there's a minus 2 here at the end. Let's get my pen working properly. So we're looking for the factors of minus 2. Okay, so what two numbers multiplied together will give us minus 2? Well, let's see. Minus 2 and say multiplied by 1. That will give us minus 2. When we add them together, we get minus 2 plus 1. Well, that will give us a minus 1. Well, we're looking for a positive 1. There's a 1 in there in front of that x then, as I said before several times. We don't write it in, but there's a 1 there. We're looking for a plus 1. This negative 1 is no good to us. So let's just reverse things around. So we put 2 multiplied by minus 1. Well, that also gives us a negative 2. Let's see what happens when we add them together. So 2 minus 1 equals a positive 1. And this is the one that we want. So again, you know now that these are the two numbers that go into the brackets. So we make our two brackets. Put x here and x here. And in here we put a plus 2. And in here we put minus 1. Those two multiply together give us 0. Now we just separate them out. So we have x plus 2 equal to 0. And minus 1 is also equal to 0. And to solve it, simply take the 2 across to the other side of the equation. So we get x is equal to minus 2 and x equal to a positive 1. There's a minus here, but when we take it over to the other side of the equation, it becomes a plus. Okay, so let's move on to the last one. Okay, Glenn, so I've written in number 5 there, and I'm sorry now, a bit cramped for space down here in the corner, so I hope it will be able to make it quite clear how to solve this one. So here we've got a minus 21. It's minus 21. So we're looking for the factors of minus 21. Okay, we know that because it's a minus, there has to be a plus factor and a minus factor, a negative and a positive factor, because that's the only way you can get a minus result. Okay, and also we're looking for the factors will have to, when added together, equal a positive 4. Okay, well, 21 has a couple of factors, so let's try the obvious ones. And we're looking for a minus, so we make a minus 7 multiplied by a positive 3. Well, that gives us a negative 21. When we add them together, minus 7 plus 3, that gives us a negative 4. Okay, we're not looking for a negative 4. We want a positive 4, but at least we have a 4 here. So that gives us a clue here straight away as to what's going to happen. So let's change the signs around of the 7, change that to a positive 7, and we've changed the 3 to a negative 3. Okay, that also gives us negative 21. And we add them together, we have 7 minus 3, and that gives us a positive 4. And that's what we're looking for. And now we know that a 7 and a minus 3 are two numbers that's going to go into the brackets to make up the factor. So we make our brackets. We have x and x in here. And then we have plus 7 and minus 3. And both of those multiplied together give us 0. And then we separate out each factor. We have x plus 7 equal to 0. And x minus 3 also equal to 0. And then it's simple, solve the equation. This x is going to be equal to minus, and this one over here is going to be equal to a positive 3. So as I say, then all of these have mainly got two solutions. In all the ones we've done so far, that's been the case. So in this case here, x is equal to minus 7, and x is always also equal to positive 3. So I hope you can have a go at those then and practice them out. And we'll talk next week. If you have any problems with them, we can sort it out. Thank you very much.